All the most renowned and revered mystics from the world's great wisdom traditions all tell us the same thing. They all boldly declare that the ultimate nature of reality is that there's only one and not two. Time, space, and the entire creative process emerged from primordial emptiness or nothingness. How is it possible that energy and matter could emerge from primordial emptiness? How could life emerge from energy and matter? And finally, how could mind emerge from life? How did those quantum creative leaps of complexity actually occur? From what we could call a process perspective, from seeing the creative process as a whole, we realize that the creative process is one process. It's one event that's happening, that's giving rise to all kinds of potentials and possibilities. So the forms that the creative process give rise to come into being and eventually pass away, but the impulse, the creative impulse, the evolutionary impulse that is giving rise to them is a singularity that is immortal and unchanging. Human beings experience the evolutionary impulse in the universe at three distinct levels. So the first level is experienced as the biological command to procreate or as a sexual impulse. And the experience of the sexual impulse is the experience of an ecstatic urgency. At a much higher level, human beings experience that same evolutionary impulse as the uniquely human drive towards innovation. Human beings are the only life form on this planet that are compelled to innovate and give rise to that which is new. The human species, we seem to be driven and compelled to innovate and to create. When a creative genius sees something that could exist but that does not exist yet, and they're driven by an ecstatic sense of urgency to do whatever they need to do so that that which they see in the eye of their mind actually emerges in the world of time and space as a living reality. And at the highest level, we experience the evolutionary impulse as the mysterious compulsion towards consciousness. What does it mean to exist? Who am I? Why am I here? Why did something come from nothing? That which compels human beings to come to terms existentially with the meaning and purpose of existence itself is none other than the same energy and intelligence that created the universe and is creating the universe. It is not merely me, Andrew, or any one of us as individuals who's merely personally struggling to come to a deep moral, philosophical, and spiritual understanding of what it means to exist. But in fact, it's the energy and intelligence that created the universe itself trying to come to a deeper understanding of what it is that it gave rise to. I experienced a great sense of urgency about my own transformation. For me, it actually became a matter of life and death. I felt that I couldn't go on in the same way unless some irreversible transformation actually occurred. And I was driven. I was driven by an ecstatic urgency to attain a shift that was irrevocable. As we awaken to and embrace an evolutionary worldview, we get a sense of what's called deep time and big history. I think too many people forget how far we've come over long and vast periods of time and how much the world has changed. The system itself right now is not complex enough or nuanced enough to be able to respond to the complex global challenges that we're facing. We also at the same time want to appreciate things are getting better all the time. I always try and do the same thing, which is to tell people who they really are. That you're not who you think you are. If it's true that all the most renowned mystics from the world's greatest religious traditions declare that the ultimate nature of reality is that there's only one and not two, that means from a mystical perspective, there is only one, and you are that one. Who else could you be? So that means This is all of your responsibility. Who else's could it be except you? So wake up and realize it and take responsibility for it. And if you do, you'll experience a profound sense of freedom and liberation and joy.